Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Kage Kaze's Domain. We're continuing our patch 15 coverage with the monk this time around. What I'm going to do, ladies and gentlemen, is urge you to watch this channel closely throughout the week, as I'm going to basically be posting some content that I'm going to be testing out and want to see what you guys think about it. This is going to help me gauge what I'm going to be doing in the future when the game eventually releases. I do intend to play through the game again with the full release. It's going to be a little bit slow going. As I've mentioned, my space only allows me to play so often until my hard drive fills. Maybe with some luck I might be able to fix that. I've actually had some finances come in, it looks like, from YouTube. So what I might be able to do is get myself a hard drive in order to expand how much I can record at one time and help me get some content out to you guys. Honestly, that's all because of you guys, and I want to thank each and every one of you that's come by and given me views to help me do that. So I'm going to keep doing what I do, and hope that you guys continue to like it. So the monk really has not changed since I last tried him out, or her out in this instance. So what I'm going to pretty much do is focus on each thing as I get them, like I normally do. One minor detail that has changed from the last patch, of course, is the increased amount of monsters that it feels like has happened since the last patch. So that'll give me at least something interesting to show. Of course, another thing I'm doing is finding everything on the field instead of wearing experience gear, so that can have an effect on how I play.
Guards, open the gates. You'll find Leah at the Slaughtered Calf Inn. Zakharum has fallen to disgrace. I promise, Marco, I protect.
Are you Leah? I did. Came back.
Watch out! The wounded are turning!
My path becomes clearer.
This is killing me.
The dead thing.
Alright, let's go grab a journal for some additional experience.
We've been under siege for 6 days now. Uncle Deckard is still missing. Captain Rumford and the others are losing hope. I tell them not to lose faith, but if help doesn't arrive soon...
I cannot help us.
We have come at last to Tristram's old cathedral. This is where Diablo, Lord of Terror, first corrupted mankind. This is where I may finally find the answers I seek. Leah worries after my safety, but I believe information vital to defeating the last lords of the burning hells can be found here.
I will hit that.
They're attacking the barricades.
Alright. Let's go ahead and get past this initial group. She doesn't want to die, does she?
There are more of them in the ruins down the road.
Okay, so let's go ahead and take a quick look at our skills here. We've got Fist of Thunder. The 6 Spirit Generator. Unleash a series of extremely fast punches that deal 110% weapon damage as lightning. Each third hit, dealing damage to all enemies in front of you and knocking them back a short distance. Now this one is touted as being the faster Spirit Generator. It's supposed to attack faster than other abilities. And I haven't really taken a too in-depth look at that, so what I might do later once I hit 13 is kind of compare the speeds of all 3 or 4 of them that we get. What did we get? 1, 2, 3, 3. We don't get the 4th. I do like this as a base ability. That knockback can be quite nice for when enemies get close like that. It doesn't knock them back too far, so you don't have to worry about chasing them. You just have to make sure that you keep attacking and they'll come to you. Of course, second on our list here is Lashing Tail Kick, which costs me 30 spirit. Unleashes a deadly roundhouse kick that knocks enemies back and deals 200% weapon damage. Obviously my major spender right now that does the most damage. Has a decent knockback range, kind of like Bash of the Barbarian. Alright, I've got some equipment. I've got a bow. Apparently monks cannot use bows. Other classes can, including the Witch Doctor. So this class is mainly meant to only be used with melee weapons. So let's take a look here. I've got a 3.47 with one weapon. This is a 2.4. I think the difference is enough that I could gain some damage by dual wielding. And it's not going to be increase in my overall damage. It's just going to be increase in my attack speed. Therefore, increase the damage I put out over time. So 3.4, 3.42. So honestly, here's the thing. This is a minor change. It does get worse with dual wielding. However, if you compare, it's a little bit faster with dual wielding, and the reason why I want to do that is for spirit generation. Classes with a regenerative ability, such as monks or barbarians, or even demon hunters, will regain far more of their resource when attacking quickly. The downside to dual wielding in this case, of course, being that you lose the raw damage output. So I know I've hashed on a lot of this before, but going through this again, it kind of gives me an excellent time to talk about everything. Basically assume that I get new people coming in, because apparently I am getting new people every day, and I want to kind of go over everything so they don't have to go hunting down videos when I can put it all right here. So if it's old information, again, I do apologize. Of course, I could just put on this shield now to increase my defense. Nothing's really hitting me hard enough that I have to worry about it. Alright, so that's a 2.0. That's worse than that. So let's get rid of it. I'm not going to use this, so I'll get rid of that. So now all I have to do is remember that I've got a 3 and a 2.4. That'll help me find replacements easier. Oops, didn't actually mean to pick that up. Oh wait, that's a 2.6. Does 1 to 3, that does 2 to 2. Okay, so here we have one that does it's a little faster attack speed. Does, it won't show me the offhand. Let's see, I believe Alt is offhand. There we go. That's what I want to compare, Alt for my offhand. So it does 1 more damage maximum, but 1 less damage minimum, and slightly higher attack speed. That's great and all, but I think I like the consistent damage of the axe I'm using. So I will use it now. There's a see, new outfit. Stripperific, eh? I think when I get in, when I actually get the retail game, what I'll do is I'll come in, and when I get some gear for the playthrough I intend to do, I'll kind of show off my dyes that I get with the collector's edition. Yeah, I did pay for it, but I did it over time. There's no way I would have been able to put that much money down on a game all at once. Thankfully, GameStop will let you kind of just put money down as you go until you eventually pay it off. Oh, the well's up this time.
Are no more. The town should be safe for now.
Alright, this one is my favorite spirit generator. This is Deadly Reach. 6 spirit per attack, project lines of force that deal 110% weapon damage. Every third hit extends out to 25 yards. Actually, the first and second hit actually extend out as well, which is why I like it. It's not just the third hit that can get you some distance, so this can be very useful for kiting or keeping your distance from very tough enemies. Let's go ahead and use it. I love that sound. Dropping items. For those of you who never played Diablo 2, it's the exact sound that it, when you would take items out of your inventory, that's exactly what it would do in Diablo 2. There's a big nostalgia feeling, and I think that's a lot of what my enjoyment of this game is. I like the game style, the gameplay. I love the graphics, honestly. I know some people claim it to be a little too bright. There are people out there putting filters on the game to make it darker. You know, that's all well and good. Art is subjective. No one's going to like the same thing. You know, it's not often that two people can totally 100% agree on the same art styles. Some people will come close, and there are a lot of people that do like the same things, but they'll never completely agree on everything. I honestly see this as being the natural progression from Diablo 2. I look at all of this, the walls, the way they're designed, the way the huts are. You know, even if these aren't, you know, next-gen graphics like, say, Gears of War or something like that, they feel like a Diablo game. And that is pretty much what I'm looking for. Oh, there we go, a weapon. You know, I've looked at Torchlight. You know, I have nothing against Torchlight. I played the demo, the first one, and its graphics are good, but that is definitely a game that you could constitute as having more cartoony graphics. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. It works for the game, and it works very well. Wow, an 8.4 weapon already. 4 to 8 damage with the 1 to 3 lightning. Keep in mind that that 1 to 3 is already baked into the 4 to 8, so this would normally be a 3 to 5. So that's very good. That will, let me put that on the main hand, give me a 9.99. It couldn't just give me a 10, could it? Of course not. And of course, I'll lose way too much if I dual wield. 7.51. Faster resource generation, but honestly, I don't think I'm going to need it. And I can go ahead and get rid of that as well. A little slower, but not by much, honestly. You'll notice a substantial speed, attack speed reduction when you're using two-handed weapons. Hello. So let me take a look here. This is a 7.2, 4 to 8, 4 to 8. Wow. So the only difference is that has lightning damage. What happens if I put it on? 10.6. There you go. 1, 2, 3. A little more damage per second. And it's not quite consistent damage, but it's good damage per second. There we go. I honestly really like dual wielding with monks. I really do. It feels good. I'm always getting that third hit out real fast. But I will want to try out using a two-hander at some point, because monks, in general, the way monks respond are they use their finishing moves not too often as compared to other classes, because a lot of the monk finishing moves take a lot of spirit and take a while to come back. So you end up having to recharge over time. One, two, three. Alright, little treasure goblin. Let me crack you open and feast on the succulent loot within you. Looking good, looking good. So I do apologize. I know I don't use Lashing Tail Kick that often the way it is right now. It's just with the knockback, I would rather just go ahead and keep them close for now. I know it does the 200% weapon damage. But honestly, things are dying fast enough with Deadly Reach. I'll try and incorporate it in a little bit more. Alright, let's take a look at what I've got so I can get rid of what I don't need. Oh, what the heck. That's worth a couple gold. Not much, but a couple. Okay, 4 and 3. Movement speed. That's a 3 to 7. Let's look at the offhand. It is more damage. Lower minimum. Lower maximum as well, but a faster attack speed. That's tough. I think I want to keep the... I don't mind the attack speed where it is right now. I'll hold on to what I've got. And there we are. Alright, let's sell. I'm even going to sell that. Give me some gold. Alright, before continuing on here, I wanted to go ahead and give a quick notice here to let you guys know that the launch site for Diablo 3 is officially live. And I've got it there in my chat. It's reveal.diablo3.com. And as of right now, it has the Demon Hunter up. And what you can do is actually go on and design a sigil based around the Demon Hunter's unique mark. And when you do that, you have a chance of unlocking the sigil to use in the game. It'll be unlocked on your Battle.net account. So even if you're not in the beta, you may want to go ahead and take a look at it because it should unlock it for you in the full game. At least that's the way I understand it. I haven't looked too deeply into the site. It just opened before I came in and started doing this recording. It looks really cool though. It's got the Demon Hunter reveal video from IGN, and it kind of shows off the Demon Hunter, its abilities. A slight error in that it lists that Shadow Power increases your attack speed, which it used to do. It doesn't do it anymore. But that's forgivable because when they make promotional materials like that, they tend to be a little bit behind.
Here's the key.
Alright, it is level 4, and that means it's time to unlock a new skill slot.
I consoled him as best I could.
Alright, Blinding Flash, cost 10 spirit with a 15-second cooldown. Create a flash of light that blinds all enemies within 20 yards for 3 seconds. Elite enemies recover faster but suffer a 30% chance to miss with attacks. I like this ability. It's very useful against normal groups of monsters and bosses. Bosses and elites will break quite early as it suggests, but that chance for them to miss is actually very huge for fighting elite monsters. I really like that they added that. It gives you use for that skill no matter what the situation. I honestly wish they would add that kind of ability to other spells that are only really useful against normal monsters, such as Horrify for the Witch Doctor, or Hex. Okay, so let's take a look here. It's a 7-2, 5-4, 4-5. Don't need those. Hey, this is a shield that grants experience. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go ahead and use it. That'll give me a little more defense, and it gives me a little extra experience as I go along here. I like that idea. Not too bad looking. Shame I will never swing that sword with that shield. Let's take a quick look at Deadly Reach. I really like that. Nice range. Also, one thing about Deadly Reach is you do get kind of a grace period if you're concerned about not being able to get the attacks fast enough. You say you're kiting a monster and moving. About 2 seconds is the cutoff point, I believe, so you do. Well, even a little longer than that. There we go. 1, 2, and then again for 3. So you can kind of attack, move away, attack, move away, attack again. So Deadly Reach is very useful for kiting. You don't have to worry about hitting immediately. This sword is putting out massive amounts of damage. These low-level monsters do not stand a chance against it. 4 to 8 with 1 to 3 lightning.
Tristram Cathedral. The star fell here.
I mean, finding a weapon that does 8.4 DPS this early on is really going to make things easy.
The star fell here.
Uh-oh. An elite group right away. Back off, guys. There we go. See, Deadly Reach really works well with Lashing Tail Kick, because you can knock them back and just still kind of hit them as they come into you. Let's go ahead and use our Blinding Flash since I've got a nice big group here. See, there we go. They're all stunned. If you hadn't seen what the ability could do before, this Flash ability used to do this, kind of do the same effect it did now, only instead of only 3 seconds, it would do it for about somewhere along the lines of 6 to 8. It seems like a long time. Well, it was, but the problem was it broke on damage. So, honestly, in a group setting, that is horrible. Because damage is going all over the place, and stun moves become pretty much useless if you've got a lot of area of effect damage is happening. As you saw there, that was a great use for my Blinding Flash to be able to just get past those monsters in order to reach the trigger for the trap. Of course, again, be careful about traps, as I still haven't been able to confirm that they don't help with loot. Alright, so I got another 8.4. That's really nice. 6 to 8. Slower attack speed, but higher minimum damage. I could easily replace this with it. And honestly, what I like about it is that that means that my abilities that I don't use as often will do more damage. Simply because of the higher minimum. Same DPS just because it's slower. I will consider it. More armor on that. More armor on that. And less on that. Very good. And a belt. There you go. Looking more and more badass as I go.
My name is Lockdown, and I'm cursed. Once the cap...
I like Blinding Flash. I especially like that it's cheap. 10 spirit out of a pool of 150. You get that back really quick. 2 primary attacks is more than enough. See, I could dual wield. That would really help my damage. Because here's the thing. They're within the same DPS, right? 8.4. This would give me a 15% increase in attack speed, and so therefore should technically give me a 15% increase in DPS. Let's just take a look at what it could be. 10.25 goes up to 11.78, so most definitely an increase. 2 experience at this point is really not a big deal, so I'll go ahead and use the Javelin, and that gives me Vitality, which increases my hit points. Oh, well that's... I can attack from way up here? Okay. There we go, I was able to keep my distance, use them as a trap, I knocked them back into the zombies. Everything honestly went well with that scenario. There's another tactic there. I can always blind them, go in, hit them a few times before they're about to come off the blind, and then knock them back with a Lash Tail Kick. And in case you don't recall, the ability to put up tooltips is the control key, so you can look at items on the ground. Unfortunately, you cannot compare your items that you currently equip to items on the ground when using this key. Okay, I've got a trap here. Hey look, the convenient X for me to know where it's going to land. Let's see if I can get some monsters to spawn. No, not there. Any here? Treasure Goblin. Oh boy. Ah, hey, back off.
I must wait to use that ability.
Let's try this. I'm gonna do it. Come over here, guys. Very good. Excellent. Stun them all.
I have been healed.
Useful tactics. Honestly, learning to do stuff like that early on is not a bad idea. I know some people might say, well, why bother? They die so quickly. Well, you know, the final difficulty modes might get pretty hard, and I really like to know what tactics I can employ against them. Now, I do make mistakes. I sit there and I stand in the explosions of grotesques, typically because I do know that I can survive it. But I don't try to take too much advantage of it. If I'm not really wanting to feel adventurous, yeah, I'll just go ahead and sit there, take whatever punishment and survive just because it is easy. But every now and then I do like to just kind of test the limits, see what I can do, and just know what I can be capable of in higher difficulties. You know how the traps work, know how the monsters respond to my abilities. Ooh, a 3.2, that's not very good. It is a life conversion, though. Items like that with life converting, all the damage you do is converted to life. Those of you who played Diablo 2 might be familiar with this, the Leech type of armor build. Honestly, melee classes thrived on Life Leech abilities like this in Diablo 2 because you had to hit the monsters hard and fast, or they would basically just tear you apart before you knew it was going to hit you. So having Life Leech, the monsters could hit you hard, but you would get that life back quickly. Might be useful for an in-game melee build. Not really required right now, and the DPS on the weapon is too low for me to care. Let's be honest. Oh, hello. Lots of monsters. See, that works. I can do damage with Lash Tail Kick to make the Grotesque explode, but before he explodes, it knocks him back. I like that. Oh, that didn't land where I thought it was going to land. Okay, well, I've hit level 5. I've earned Tempest Rush. I like this ability. It's 15 spirit plus an additional 10 while channeling. If you've watched the Demon Hunter, you're familiar with that, where you have an initial investment of 15, and then every second is 10. I say every second, but it's also based on weapon speed. So if my weapon speeds are faster than once a second, it will drain my spirit faster. Charge directly through your enemies, knocking them back and hobbling them, slowing their movement by 60% for 2 seconds, also dealing 50% weapon damage while running. This is where the monk excels. Mobility.
I must wait to use that ability.
Let me just swing with these weapons a bit. You know, that's kind of cool right there. Slice, stab, and then a kick.
Not yet recharged.
It's kind of a shame I can't use these weapons. As you can see, because of the high spirit cost over time, and the low damage that it does, 50%, this is not exactly a weapon that or an ability you want to be using as a damaging ability. This is mainly for getting through groups, either getting into the middle of a group in order to perform a large AoE type ability, or for escaping a group. Monsters take up real estate in the game world. Where a monster stands, they're actually taking up that space. You cannot walk through monsters. And this is the kind of ability you'll want in case you get surrounded. If you've ever watched the Jar of Souls event, you will know that the monsters will quickly swarm you, and they can get all around you and possibly stop you from being able to escape. This is the kind of ability that will prevent you from getting into that kind of situation. Narrow spaces like this, very useful. It slows them down so you can run past them and run away after you've hit them. And it does some damage, so you can turn around and know they're already slightly weakened. All around a very good spell. Or ability in this case. I'm Deckard Cain. Oh, I'm too old for this crap. Oh God.
The Skeleton King.
Power of the fallen star awakened me, and soon
Alright, let's save him.
Back to your graves.
Alright, I'm out one of my stronger damaging abilities now that I no longer have Lashing Tail Kick, but as you can see I can just go right through him. He's slowed down now and I can hit him a couple times. Just blind him. All very good.
It was not.
I learned of this secret passage through old.
Hey, life regeneration. I'll actually take that.
We must discuss the fallen star. Follow me to
Uncle, your
Thank
time.
not-
Please, Uncle.
Tristan.
Alright, we're approaching the point where I'm going to go ahead and kind of cut the segment off. And that's going to be here with helping Hadrig.
Blacksmith. It is.
thank you.
So we'll go down, help him out, and then we'll start the next section when we're moving out onto the next map.
I'm sorry.
This must be done.
So again, I want to thank all of you guys that have been following along at this point. Honestly, all the feedback has been so overwhelmingly positive and inspiring for me. I really hope that I can find some kind of content that you guys might be interested in when the game releases. So again, please keep an eye on this channel over the course of the week as I try out some ideas. Let me know what you guys might like. Just because I want to be able to put something out there that some of you guys will like, because a lot of you guys seem to like my style, and the way I'm doing this. I want to know if there's anything I can do for Diablo that you guys might be interested in. Okay, that's humorous. I could do that all day long, couldn't I?
I couldn't have done this without. You'll find his tomb in a cemetery.
So as always, I'm looking for suggestions, comments, questions. If you have a question you want me to answer here on YouTube, just send a message to my mailbox, the shadowpost@gmail.com. That's open for all questions, comments, relative concerns, and such. Of course, I always listen to the comments in the video section here as well. So, as always, I urge you guys to thumb up the video if you like it, and leave questions, comments, concerns at theshadowpost@gmail.com or the comment sections below this video.